Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this live stream. I'm joined here with Tone Bays. Oh my God, you're in Dubai.
I know, I'm back in Dubai. Wow, it's been about 11 months. I was last here in April of last year. So, man, time flies, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. And you know, Mr. M right here, right?
Good to have you guys. It's gonna be an epic show today.
Exactly. Another day, another Trump dump, right? We're gonna be talking about that in the news and more, right? And we're gonna have fun. We're gonna actually go into something that this guy is going to hate very much. We're gonna go into the trenches. We're going to the dgen section. We're gonna be real degens here.
All right, more
Later
degen than who Trump just invited to the Oval Office to discuss
Way more.
the
way more.
shitcoin strategic reserve. All right.
Yeah, way more than that. So you might feel a little bit of disgust at the end of the show.
It's gonna get filthy.
Yeah, exactly. but we all do it in fun. We tell you not to buy anything that we buy because we're just going around picking things out of the air, okay? So don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. All right, with that said, right, make sure you head over to Tone's channel, right? At, what was that?
That's just Tone Vase, yeah. My personal channel is Tone Vase. It is now geopolitical, so I transferred all of my trading and financial content to the Financial Summit YouTube channel.
There you go. Hit the subscribe there. And also, you head over to right here. Boom.
Yeah, that's the Financial Summit. That's where all of my financial content is these days.
Awesome.
Which is how I started on YouTube and Twitter.
And of course, we are going to be me and Maurizio are going to your Financial Summit, right?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for joining once again. You've been the most consistent guest on the at the Financial Summit event. It's in the past, it's been in Dubai, Maldives, Dominican Republic, and this year for the first time, it's in the Maldives. So, well, what an awesome location.
Yeah, the Maldives is just great. I mean, I've been there once before, and it's fantastic. Make sure you also hit the subscribe at Mr. M's podcast, and let's get on with the show today. What we have is like,
Somebody feels holding.
this guy's holding his 0.01 Bitcoin, right? Hanging on to dear life as BlackRock tries to drop the price on him so he can sell his Bitcoin. Hold your Bitcoins, man. What do you think about that? Should somebody hold their Bitcoins even though the price is dropping?
Nah, you gotta hold your Bitcoins. I mean, you can allocate 10, 20% of your holding stash to trading in order to try and acquire more Bitcoin. And if you're not successful after a few years, maybe you should stop, but you gotta hodl.
Yeah, just it. That's all. You gotta have a stash that you never touch, right? Do you have a stash that you never touch?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a stash you never touch?
I try not to disclose that.
He doesn't have a stash. He lost it in a boating accident.
That
like
is
mine.
correct.
So, Trump signs a Bitcoin reserves order, but won't buy more Bitcoin
Yes.
for now?
So the latest announcement is that the U.S. government is going to hold on to the coins that they have confiscated, usually illegally, from other people and entities, and they would use that Bitcoin. Currently, it's 200,000 Bitcoin, supposedly in the reserve that they need to audit, something that should take about 5 minutes by simply signing with the private key. But supposedly the US government has 200,000 Bitcoin, and Trump has signed an order that this Bitcoin will not be sold and that this Bitcoin will be part of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And they are trying to appease the public by saying they will not use any public funds to acquire additional Bitcoin. But if they happen to steal it from you, then it goes to support the country. And there's something similar going to happen with a shitcoin reserve as well. They will be kind of independent. And yeah, so it's an interesting development. Michael Saylor is going to try and explain to the committee that there are ways to acquire more Bitcoin that are neutral, that do not require the spending of tax revenue.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you know what? He's the master at that. You know what? Honestly, he's the master. Oh, can you lend me some money so I could buy Bitcoin? Sure. What's my terms? 0% interest rate. Okay. So what's the collateral? The Bitcoin? No. Okay. So what am I getting out of it? Well, if my stock price goes up 30%, you could convert the debt into stock.
Deal.
That's freaking insane. Wow. Oh my God.
The market is still not sure how to interpret this news. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? It's just short-term volatility.
They dumped the price.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we're still way off the lows. I think it'll be fine.
Well, little bit. Wait a second here. Sorry, I gotta. This is a little bit. This little big. That's big dump here. That occurred. Let me just go to a 4-hour candle here, right? That happened very, very fast. And
Yeah,
there's a
but
big wick.
we recovered
That's
it.
not a little bit.
But we recovered
That's
it.
not
right?
a little bit.
The initial
Not a
reaction.
little bit.
The initial reaction was negative, but it looks like it's recovered, and that's always a good positive sign.
And you.
I'd rather have it this way than the other way. The initially pumps and then trades all the way down.
He's got rose-colored glasses, man. That's all. That's all it is.
I love Tom came with a hopium. I like it.
Exactly.
Do you think we're gonna close the CME because we got really close to filling it? There is another $300 I think left at 77. Do you think we're gonna close it down before we pump up again?
I don't think we will. I'm gonna be the optimist here. So, for one reason is I personally don't pay attention to the CME gaps. I don't find them very important. And the way we rebounded off of that 78, 77 low, I'm not saying it is the bottom, but in my experience of 20 plus years of trading, it has all the signs of how markets bottom. Historically, you only get a few hours to buy the low. You don't get, 3 days to think it over, whether you're catching the absolute low. Usually you get a couple of hours, and for most people, it happens while they're sleeping.
Yeah, sure.
That's how lows are made, and that's what happened. So I'm gonna stick with the historical, correlation here that the bottom is in.
Well, I'm. You know what? I can partly agree because we did fill the gap a little bit, right?
It's basically Basically
and so, but here's the thing with the gaps, right? Is that the CME gap has a historical trend of 95% of the time it fills the gaps, right? So you have to accept and respect that percentage, right?
Sure.
That's what you trade on. You trade on percentages whenever you make any kind of decision to trade. It's based on historical patterns and what the percentage of probability that.
Sure. I'm just going to make a quick argument against the CME gap. To me, the CME gap is important when the CME futures are the leading cause of the price movement. So in the case of gold futures, in the case of oil futures, like 90% of the reason for price movement is the CME contracts.
Yes.
In the case of Bitcoin, the CME is not the driver of the price. It's spot exchanges and even crypto derivative exchanges. That's the main driver of the price, not the CME traders. So to me, the CME more of a follower, and most of those gaps that fill, they're kind of tiny and it's just normal fluctuations. But because the CME is not the leading driver of price discovery, I try to discount the importance of that CME gap.
While that maintains to be true, it's not the main driver of price discovery, right? Those people who are speculating there, they know that they can move the price. If they can move the actual price discovery, they can actually profit on the CME. So
That's true.
So there it is. Alrighty, moving on. Let's see here. Okay, this is the camera I want. There we go. What do you got here?
Well, finally, we have seen a higher low, which is what Tom was saying, right? It's supposed to be positive, right? We are going up if you zoom out.
Mm-hmm. And when in doubt, zoom out.
So clearly we have a higher low on last week's candle versus the prior candle.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it comes to back-to-back candles, looking at it on weekly scale, I don't really, they're too close to each other. Now, I'm not a fan of the double bottom that you see in 2023. That is a very, very rare pattern for me. Usually there is a clearly marked low in the 2023 two circles that are approximately at the same price. To me, that is a trade I would get caught on in the wrong direction. Right, that second one. That second circle. Nope, not that one. The two more to the right. One more to the right. That one. Yeah. So that's a circle I would get caught on in the wrong trade. But now if you go to the 2024, nope, the one more, you don't have a circle there, but you see the big swing low, and then you see the secondary low like 3 or 4 weeks later. That's the kind of secondary low you really want that indicates that the prior low is in. Having it on back-to-back candles is not enough for me to say that a secondary low is in. So I am more focusing on the fact that there was this big wick and we had 2 of them. And that is similar to what happened on that wick in 2024 and the other wick in January of 2024, when you only get a few hours to buy that low, and that tends to be the low. Yep, that wick, and you can find other wicks as well. They are happening everywhere except that 2023 double bottom. So it's that wick and quick recovery that I am focusing on as to why I believe the low is in.
Interesting. Yes. So let's see what happens in the days to come, right? I think obviously Bitcoin has more room to run. In my personal opinion.
Ton, question for you. And sorry, guys, we are hassling a microphone, so my voice might be a little bit lower.
That's okay.
What are the chances that the top was in for Bitcoin for this cycle?
I think those chances are very, very low. I don't believe the top is in. It would be very disappointing if the top was in. I still believe we have this year is going to be very, very bullish. And we may even have a top, not even next year, but the year after. So I am still very bullish here. There were going to be 2 camps. Bitcoin was either going to overperform expectation or underperform expectation. Of course, people have different expectations. My expectation is Bitcoin approximately 200 to 250,000. And the chances of even outperforming that in this cycle, I believe, are slightly higher than underperforming, but this cycle could last a little bit longer. So for me, I look at the 2-month chart, for example, and I don't know if you have my indicator MRI, but there is a chart there that doesn't fail. It has never failed in history. And we had a great breakout on that 2-month chart 2 candles ago, and that has always led to over 100% gains, and we're not there yet.
Perfect. CME futures. Is this the CME futures or just all exchange?
Open interest.
Well, open interest. Wow. Is that seriously that low? Damn.
Well, you have to realize that the Bitcoin ETFs have completely reduced the dependence on the CME. The average trader and investor can now go buy the BlackRock ETF, which is more liquid than the CME futures.
Yeah.
Once again, when it comes to traditional assets like gold, like oil, people don't trade the gold ETF as much as they trade the gold future. People don't trade the oil ETF. Is actually terrible. There is no good oil ETF. Everything is concentrated. All the liquidity, all the trading is concentrated in the oil future. When it comes to Bitcoin, no one really likes the CME Bitcoin futures. It was just a necessary asset for traditional traders. They much prefer the ETF, especially the BlackRock one with how liquid it is. And now that there is options trading on top of it, the liquidity of the CME is going to go down even more. You can see the big drop off in liquidity approximately when the options started trading earlier this year, because that creates some awesome leverage for traditional traders, and they no longer have to go to the CME future. So it has some competition for liquidity.
Mish. Interesting viewpoint. What is this we looking at, man? This is so tiny.
Anti-Gox have moved 1 billion in Bitcoin, and people are panicking. But
oh, Jesus, again?
Exactly.
Look,
How many times have we seen this?
If I literally had like 0.01 Bitcoin for every time in the last 10 years, there was a fear that Mt. Gox is finally going to sell the Bitcoin, I would be a very, very rich man. So my position for the last 10 years has been the Mt. Gox coins will eventually be paid out to the grandkids of the actual people that lost the Bitcoin in Mt. Gox. That has been my position for 10 years now, and I will remain at that position.
Damn. You know what? And even if it does go for a sale, Michael Saylor's like, yeah. Oops, I dropped $1 billion. Can I use that to buy that thing? Like, really? That's just my weekly bar.
Yeah, exactly. If you look into the inflow and outflow in the ETF table, I mean, we've seen 1 billion actually in one day. So who cares? This is nothing to worry about. I agree. It's interesting. Solana has been beating Ethereum briefly in terms of volume. How do you think about this?
This is the DEX volume, right? So basically, decentralized exchanges, meaning, obviously people were selling the last few days to get out of Solana.
So I'm not surprised at all, actually.
Oh damn! Just kidding. Maybe there's people coming in. Maybe.
What do you see, Anton? I mean, do you think Sol is gonna beat Ethereum in the long term?
Probably. But something else is going to beat both of them, right? So this is interesting. This is to me, there is a lot of misunderstanding on what is decentralized and what isn't. To me, this is two centralized. This is the stock of two centralized companies trading on a centralized exchange. So I don't believe in the concept of a DEX. I don't believe that they exist. So to me, everything here is actually centralized, and it's all a matter of hype and as we used to call proof of news. And there's always going to be a better database to process transactions. Ethereum was a database that processed transactions faster than Bitcoin because to me, it's a centralized database. They can always change the rules. And then Solana comes in as a proof of stake. Again, database. To me, it's a centralized database and it can process more transactions than Ethereum. And if something isn't out there already, they can process more transactions than Solana. It's coming soon. So eventually, to me, they are all competing for the same market and they are all just going to eat each other. I always expected Solana to outcompete Ethereum because they have, it's the newest thing, it's the latest thing. They have traditional VCs and they're going to push it a little bit higher. I don't know what's up next. That's going to surpass Solana because I don't pay enough attention to the altcoin blockchains as they call them. But something is coming, and that's always been my position. This is where I put Bitcoin in a different bucket. Bitcoin is like the internet itself, and all of these companies like Ethereum and Solana and Cardano and Ripple, and you can name them all like Hex or whatever you want to name. They're all competing for market share on top of the internet itself. So choosing Solana over Ethereum or Ethereum over Solana is like, choosing Apple over Android. But you're not competing with the internet itself. These are, they're going to outcompete each other based on, and the leaders of these companies are going to be at Trump's event today. They're discussing, what the future is. So again, it's like the CEOs of all these companies, plus Michael Saylor that only uses Bitcoin. And they're all fighting for this market share. So I'm not surprised that Solana surpassed Ethereum in transactions, and something else is going to surpass them both in the near future.
This is decentralized exchanges, but this is, and I'd like to push back on decentralization, only because, right, if they wanted to, they could have gotten the $1.5 billion back from that Bybit lost, right? Because they already did it before, right, on Ethereum.
Well, I think I know,
but they didn't.
Well, they didn't because of how badly the backlash was on getting it back, right? It's not like they couldn't do it; it's that they voluntarily chose not to. That's the difference, right? They chose not to do it because it would have looked bad, because everyone remembers when Ethereum did it. Yes. So it's not that it was impossible.
But it was lost on Ethereum. So Ethereum already did it, so they could do it on Ethereum again.
Sure.
So
of course,
just that
maybe
it would have looked bad. It would have looked bad.
Yeah. Maybe they want to keep the illusion.
Yeah, they want to keep the illusion. Yes.
Right? Like Tony's saying.
I mean, because there's only 21 validators, it doesn't take very long to go. Okay, guys, listen, that transaction didn't happen. Okay, it doesn't take that long, right? So, anyways, moving on. Solana's co-founder questions Trump's crypto reserves despite SOL inclusion. Okay, so what was this all about?
So basically, the Solana co-founder tweeted, and he said, "My response on because of course, as you guys know, the stockpile strategic stockpile, mentioned XRP, Solana, and Cardano, and then the co-founder came up with this tweet, which is a bit of a mess, to be honest. And we were
Really?
trying to really
Yeah, I
say,
know.
is this guy on crack? Like, he said 3 things, I couldn't even understand half of it. So it's basically going, well, here's my take on the preference on the reserve. Number 1, no reserve at all, because if you want to decentralize, if you want decentralization to fail, put the government in charge of it. Well, first of all, in charge of what?
What?
I mean, they won't be able to control the Bitcoin network anyway, because you have to have 51% of the network.
What the f?
And also, decentralization means anyone should be able to acquire the asset. Otherwise, it's not decentralized. So the first point, he lost me. I don't know if you guys...
He's on crack cocaine on that one too. Yeah, but the second one is like,
Well, the second one says, or states run their own reserve as an edge against the Fed making a mistake. What? So they're saying, well, we are buying Bitcoin because you don't believe in the Fed. Well, but that's why you should buy. That's why you buy insurance, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
what? Okay, whatever.
And then the number 3 has gone into a rant, which basically said that it doesn't make any sense to have a reserve. And by the way, he's quoting Bitcoin, and he says, well, if you want to have a reserve, you have to measure objectively, and Solana is going to smash it. So it's really confusing. I don't know what this guy is on, but
Oh, he was on meth, cocaine, drinking alcohol
Then
when he
all
wrote that
together.
tweet. Yeah, all together. And then he got an IV drip at the same time, right when he wrote that tweet. Because I can
It's
barely piece put together.
such
Maybe
a
I could
confusing-
say, but here's gold is I guess a hedge against the Fed making a mistake, printing more money. But I'm what? Okay, whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
it's
It's really difficult to decipher what this guy wants.
It's really
to say.
interesting though, because by the way, Solana was named as a stockpile, one of the 3, right? Among, actually, if you count Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's 5, but if you count all of them, and this guy is saying, well, it doesn't make any sense because he thinks Solana is decentralized.
Okay,
That's
let's move on because
not
I'm
an issue,
confused, man. I'm confused. Right, moving on to Dubai-owned bank, Emirates MBD debuts crypto trading on LiveX app. Wow, what?
Yeah, that's amazing. So they would be more friendly towards people they also deposit and
No.
withdraw to buy Bitcoin.
No.
That's awesome.
So I also heard that the UAE is looking to partner with Tether to create a
Stablecoin.
Yeah,
stable
yeah,
coin
I was there for
based
the
on the
unveiling.
dirham. But the dirham is pegged to the dollar, so I just don't see the necessity. Why don't you just use Tether? I mean,
Yeah, I mean just for local transactions. That's why. That's
Yeah.
the point, right? So that you can do local transactions and buy stuff at the store because they can't accept USDT really. And then there will be a little bit of a fluctuation and stuff like that, so they want to be able to just get their local currency.
yeah,
so.
so going back to that prior story, it sounds like the co-founder of Solana is really upset that other shitcoins were also selected alongside his shitcoin. for
Okay,
a
that
strategic reserve.
that makes sense. Now it's making
Only
sense.
cracked-
You cracked the code. You cracked the code.
And that's what I'm saying. They're just trying to eat each other, right? Like they know they can't compete with Bitcoin, so they're just trying to say, I can't believe Ripple was invited here. It's so insulting to our project.
That's probably the
Exactly.
best way to interpret
yeah.
what happened. Yeah, well done on deciphering it.
It's like, why is Cardano here? It's programmed in Haskell. Nobody knows how to use that thing. No one will ever use it. You know, it's kind of like they're just fighting each other. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen that video of it's like a meme. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of memes. It's like, I don't know from what movie it is or how old it is. And it's definitely like Arab culture. And they're like, go like fighting each other. That's kind of what that room is going to be.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
That makes sense. Well, look at this. Brazil looks like it's starting to having an idea for a 10%.
Really? The
Cash
country that
allocation.
banned X at one point?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they secured already a small bag of Bitcoin, like 45.7 to be specific. That's
BTC?
about $4 million.
Well, they got to start somewhere.
They're gonna start somewhere. Right?
So-
Not
Hey,
bad.
they don't have to go out like Michael Saylor.
So is Maluza just a single company in Brazil? It doesn't sound like it's the government. It sounds like it's a private company. So the question is, how big is that company and whether
And how-
this
and how
allocation
involved is with the
is relevant. So it's 4.1 million. I mean, it's not that much. So it's probably a small company in Brazil. But hey, it makes the news cycle. Probably will definitely help the stock of that company.
Definitely. Definitely.
Exactly. And speaking of Tether, They froze 27 million on sanctioned Russian exchange.
Yes. And for those who don't know, right, the same could happen for your XRP. Now, if you say, no, if you come with your keyboard warrior nonsense, go to ChatGPT and ask it, can my funds be frozen on XRP Ledger? They'll say, yes.
Yeah, of course they can.
It'll say yes. So the computer that knows everything is lying to you? Like, what are you smoking?
They probably had a session with the Solana co-founder.
Like, that's what I don't like about the XRP army. When you have the truth, like evidence, like stacked up, like even written documentation, and now even a computer that can read everything can give them the answer, they still say that's a lie. How is this possible?
Yeah, there's if you just do a quick Google search, what Tone Vase hates about XRP, there'll be an awesome article. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, go for it.
What Tone hates most about XRP, and there it is.
Wow, number
So
one.
there's a whole article written by Bitcoinist. There I am, trying to fight I refer to it as the XRP army of the brain dead.
Clearly.
Clearly,
They're all walking drones, man.
yeah, so here it's like the Walking Dead scene with the XRP army, and you guys can just review this. The whole thing just relies on here's XRP's master plan. So what they do is they create. They created the Ripple token and they have to pump it. So they invest in like failing companies like MoneyGram, for example. They invest money in MoneyGram, and then they tell to the world that MoneyGram is now using Ripple, and that pumps the Ripple price because they print their own money. They use that money to invest in or buy legitimate banks or companies, and then they tell the world how these companies are voluntarily adopting Ripple. The token. Wow. And then they cash out on the Ripple token and do it all over again. So it's the Ripple infinite money glitch. A little less ethical than sailors, but that's how they do it.
You know what? That's why they have those market makers, right? They do this. They buy these companies, get them or force them to buy to support Ripple, right? Some way. And then they call their market maker and say, he sold it. Pump it.
Yeah, so this was written a long time ago, and my 4 reasons were Ripple was an unlicensed, unregistered security. Now the SEC is grossly incompetent, so they couldn't nail them on that. The XRP has no utility. Here was their utility. If you need to send, let's say, you need to pay someone in the Philippines, so you need to convert your dirham into the Filipino peso. Mm-hmm. And instead of just converting your dirham into the peso, they think it's a better idea to first convert it into Ripple and then move the Ripple and then convert the Ripple into the Filipino peso. Yeah. So you're adding another volatile currency into the mix, which makes no sense whatsoever. And then you have their business. It's not decentralized by any means. That was to the point that you're saying. Of course, they can freeze your Ripple at any time because there's only one Ripple node at Ripple Labs. And finally, their entire business plan is to sell the XRP token, invest in or buy failing financial companies, and then try to convince the world how these companies are utilizing the Ripple token.
Yeah, well, the Ripple network is federated, so it's the top-down approach, right? So just so you guys know what that is. And the federated is technically as strong as all the other cryptocurrencies. What's it called? The consensus algorithm, technically, right? So the meaning that if they decided to increase the supply, it would be a little bit difficult because all the other nodes would say, "Well, dude, man, come on, can't do that," right? And then they'll try to be the number one node. They'll try to get together and they'd have a fork and stuff like that, and somebody else would be the number one node. So they'd still do it. They could still go and create another Ripple with more Ripple tokens, right? It's just that there would be a fork. The same would happen with Bitcoin. If somebody wanted to do that with Bitcoin, they could do it, technically do it. It's just how many people would follow that fork? Probably nobody.
Right.
So
Right. It's
That's it.
whatever Ripple Labs decides the code's gonna be, it'll be. But going back to the Ripple story, sorry, the Tether free story real quick. It sounds like Tether, the company, froze the Tether that the exchange was holding. It's just that the exchange happened to be Russian. And I don't understand why a Russian exchange would take the risk of holding Tether. I mean, this is where Bitcoin has the advantage. I mean, yes, you're giving up stability of the US dollar, but this is where Bitcoin allows you to have self-custody. This is the unconfiscatability nature of Bitcoin, which is the only asset that has that property. And I remain as the voice for 10 years now, saying that the unconfiscatability of Bitcoin is its most important property above all else. And this exchange learned that when you're holding an asset in your reserve that isn't Bitcoin, it can happen to any asset other than Bitcoin. So I know it would suck for the traders on this Russian exchange to have to use Bitcoin as the unit of account to trade or go degen against. But that's what you have to do if you want to avoid losing tens of millions of dollars to an asset freeze.
yeah, they should have just used DAI token.
Yeah.
Anyways, DAI token.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Have you guys seen that the Tether is working with Bitcoin to kind of boot up the stablecoin on the Lightning Network? Which I don't know how they can pull it off, but that would be really interesting.
Right. Well, remember, no one can actually work with the Bitcoin is not a company, right? Tether is trying to build infrastructure to have the Tether token run on top of Lightning, because the people behind Tether, they're pretty Bitcoiny. They're not altcoiners. So it's probably killing them that Tether was always, being used on Ethereum, and now it's mostly being used on Tron because Ethereum transactions got too expensive. But no one knows what the hell is going on over at Tron. So they launched Tether on top of the Liquid sidechain, which is a Bitcoin sidechain, but it just has not picked up any traction. So they're trying to do everything and anything as a company that maintains and owns the Tether network to move Tether on top of Bitcoin instead of on top of altcoins. But the reason they're running into problems is because Bitcoiners don't need Tether as much as the altcoiners need Tether. Bitcoiners are fully content in holding on to their Bitcoin for the unconfiscatability feature. And okay, screw it. So Bitcoin price is a little bit more volatile. But all these altcoiners that don't want to keep their net worth in Ethereum need, Tether.
Yeah, that's really well said. I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, it would be nice if it's unconfiscatable with your USDT, but I doubt it. They'll make it. I'm sure they'll put some sort of means of freezing it because they have to comply with the government sanctions and stuff like that. If you ask your local chat GPT, right, if they would have to comply, it will explain it to you very clearly that they would have to comply.
Exactly.
So just so you know. Okay, fear and greed.
Fear and greed 34. And by the way, quickly on what Tone said, I will trade every day volatility to my property, 100%. In fact, in my portfolio, I have no stable coins, right? So I'm fully behind.
Yeah, I also don't think DAI is a solution. We can get into that if we have time.
Yeah. Okay. Later. All right.
Later. Fear and greed. I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen over the next few days? Because today we're going to have the crypto event at the White House. Are you expecting a rebound, a pump?
No, I think they already spilled the beans. It's kind of weird, but government does that, right? Like government will say, we have, invited 22 Nobel-winning economists to advise us on what we're going to do. But they already decided what they're going to do before the advisors showed up and gave their opinion. Sure. They're just doing it for show. Like this morning, before the meeting even took place at the White House, they already announced what they're going to do, right? So what the hell is the point? They're all just getting together to just chat about it. I mean, the government makes their own decisions. It doesn't matter what they announce at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What the hell is that?
I agree with that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Okay.
Oh boy, I have just seen that.
Now we
sit down, guys.
we come to the part of the show where a lot of you go, please, man, for the love of God, don't buy this shit. Right? And we go ahead and do it anyways. Right? And we show you what happens after the fact. Sometimes we win, most of the times we lose.
Yeah.
And if you decide to follow us on any of these investments, should you put all your money, make sure you take out some insurance. What kind of insurance?
Your fault insurance.
Thank you. So we're just having fun in this dgen area. We want to secure our bloodline. We would wish for the security of our bloodline, but do we expect it? Hells no.
You know, it's like a bunch of kids and they see a fire and say, "Don't touch it."
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
And they'll touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll get it burned. So don't touch the fire.
Let's start off with the first one that we got burned on from yesterday.
Ooh.
We went full degen on this one. And what happened? Look at that. We got pulled.
So rug pull, or
Yeah, rug pull.
Technical collapse.
Rug pull.
Straight up rug pull, huh?
Rug pull, straight up. We got wiped. And you know what? Oh, it's just too bad. Oh, this one went down. Oh. Were you surprised that this one went down?
I am very surprised. This is really solid.
This was a solid investment.
But
It was called
I'm more surprised how there's like 5 million of these tokens. Like, how do you know which ones to, like, how do you pay attention to all of them?
We just go and select some random tokens to buy and see what happens.
So to prove a point, how often they get rug pulled.
Exactly.
We're having fun doing it, right? It is fun because we're like trying to secure our bloodline. We're hoping on hope that one of these coins go to $1 billion market cap in an instant, and then we're rich.
Exactly. This is basically modern days of drunk friends at the casino, right?
Yes, exactly. It's like playing at the casino. So look at this one.
This one's actually
8008.
performing okay for now.
Well, here's the thing
Oh,
about
there it
this one.
goes.
We jumped into on this because why? We saw this a long time ago, right? And we were like, no, right? And it dumped, right? And then it's all of a sudden pumped, and then we're like, should we get this?
I thought because it was boob, no?
Yeah.
You're trying to rationalize, like, dude, it's boobs.
Are you trying to rationalize what the ticker means?
I'm in for the boobs.
We're trying to rationalize why I bought it, and he's just bought it for the boobs.
Yeah, I'm in for the boobs.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's a true degen. Right there.
Oh,
What's
damn.
price action? What are you talking about, man? It's boobs.
Boobs. Did we put a sell order on this thing?
I don't remember actually.
Yeah, I don't think so. So let's put a sell order on this so that
Are you
if it
profitable?
No. If it does profit, if it doubles, we'll sell half when it doubles. Let's see here. Do we have any open orders? No, we don't. Sell orders on that one. So let's just do that.
For now, the show has been making money disappear.
Exactly. That's it.
That's a trick. We've
We've been very good at that, right? Making money disappear.
been very
Extremely well. Oh, dude, it is registered. That's why it pumped.
What does that mean?
It means, right, that no longer is it going to show up like warning. Do not buy this shit.
Oh, so they made enough money, they paid off some exchange that no longer gives it a warning?
Yeah.
So now it's probably legit.
They paid the bribe?
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, a low tone. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
very much.
that's it technically right. So how much did we put into this? 1.1? Let's find out.
Point one what? Solana or Bitcoin?
Solana.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
How much is Solana? Like
$130 or something,
okay.
and then something like that. Let's see here. Where did our boobs go? Right?
oh man, if you read through some of the names in our portfolio, Tony will walk out the front door.
No, I'm actually fascinated by that. I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
But that's why we are doing it, right? To prove a point to our watchers and to our viewers.
I mean, when you have to search for your asset and
I know we got two
your portfolio
crap.
saying something.
We bought 0.25. Oh man, we loaded the boat on this
Load
one.
the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, we loaded the boat. That's okay.
Like Nikos, this is the moment that DJ Tone was born.
Oh Damn, can you imagine if Tone becomes a dgen?
That'd be epic.
That'd be epic. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see here. 5. Yeah, there we go. 4, 8. Yeah, because we want 25, 4, 7, 9. No, 6. There we go. Good enough. Close enough. So then we get our 2.5 Bitcoin back. I mean, Solana back. Not Bitcoin. That would be nicer with Bitcoin.
Yeah, that would be nice. By the way, for disclosure, we would not do that with Bitcoin.
Hells no.
All right, so now boobs are safe.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. Right, we've got a sell order. Should it continue to pump? Because somebody registered this, right? So obviously they want to do something with it.
They are registered boobs.
Yeah. So maybe
it could pump.
Should we get some more?
That is something maybe we should consider.
I don't know. I feel like a real degen.
Open like a 1 hour chart.
This is a 15-minute chart.
Do a 1 hour chart.
If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would have been with you two looking at the boob chart, I would have never in a million years believed this.
Me neither.
Take a W.
No.
That's a big W in the making there.
I would wait for the breakout. I would wait for it to go above the, not the current high, but the prior high.
This is degen section central, man. Do you think that that's going to give us a chance to do that? Even on the 15-minute chart? No. This is an hourly chart. Sorry, hourly chart.
But that's why we need to do it.
I think so.
That's exactly why we should do it.
We should buy some more of this.
I think so.
Because we're real degens.
time
Because
has come.
only real degens buy stuff that don't make no sense. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
this is where we have to reinforce our belief. No gain, no pain, no gain. You know, that kind of stuff.
This is degenerate at its maximum scale.
Well, it's Friday,
Yeah.
so
Let's do our Friday song. How does that go again?
It's Friday then.
It's Friday,
Sunday,
Sunday.
that's it. I think we should go in.
I know. I think Tone's like, what am I doing here? You can see it in his face.
I was going to ask you how Waffles token's been doing. I remember it had just launched the last time I was in town.
Yeah, it launched exactly in April or something like that.
Of last year,
Yeah.
It was just launched when I was in town.
And Waffles. Well, she waffled a little bit, but it's still alive. She's registered
Is it on Solana?
and she's on Solana. Yes.
I think we're going to do one
But
Solana.
we got in our dgen wallet we got 5. We bought in for 5 Solana.
Have there been copycats of the Waffle token yet?
Actually, you know what? I'm surprised, but no. There's been copycats of the orc, but not Waffles. There's copycats of WowMao, and so just look at that. WowMao and orc is beating us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Joe, you're not alone. We are also laughing with you. Thank you for tuning in, by the way.
But look at Bretta.
It's all about the laughs.
Look at Bretta.
Brad is going to give us.
I swear
What
to
are we
God.
looking for?
I swear to God.
Yes.
I swear to God. I'm telling you. I've been telling you, dude. I've been telling you. Bretta, even though she was looked dead, she looked like she was going to really take all of our money, right?
Which that would have been very unexpected.
Very unexpected. Very.
So who's Brett and why does his wife have a token?
Brett was a token that was another meme coin that went to actually 2 billion market cap.
Yeah, on base.
On base. And so effectively people are betting with Bretta. Just keep in mind there's zero fundamental analysis here. Zero.
Yeah, because what?
No, I don't have to keep that in mind. I'm fully aware. I've been aware of this since 2013.
But this is worse than all the other coins that you deem shit coins, right? Name even XRP has more fundamentals.
Hex just won its case against the SEC, so it's hard to beat that insanity.
Exactly. And Hex is an example that was above all these things that we're buying.
Yeah.
Above.
This is not even in the same universe.
Exactly. So that's how bad it is. We're in this trenches here. For you to be on this show might actually reduce your credibility.
Oh no, my credibility has been reduced for a long time.
Oh damn! Because this has no reason for us for buying this, right? Other than the fact that, oh well, Brett went to 2 billion market cap, so we should buy this because Brett, and it's only 300, 400 market cap.
I like it.
It could go to 1 billion market cap, and we'd be rich. You want to do it?
Yeah.
I love to try to explain how the trenches work. So we're gonna use a token, which is a shitcoin, to buy the wife of another token, which has no value. Let's go to $2 billion.
Exactly.
And we're gonna retire the bloodline. Done. All in.
This is insanity. Well, I don't understand how this is working, but it does.
Actually, now that we have tone and we are trying to explain what the hell we're doing,
You know, it feels like
sounds like nonsense.
it sounds like craziness.
Yeah. Sounds like we lost our mind.
Exactly, and he looks like he's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Oh, man.
No, I knew what I was getting into when I walked through the door.
I love it.
Oh my god! So we're gonna get some more Bretta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to pump, it's going to double again.
I think Bretta.
By the way, Bretta doubled 3 times.
Exactly. She already made us some money. We should walk away, but we're like a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, exactly. You don't walk away from money.
Exactly.
You double in.
Yeah. Now, once again, I'd like to remind everybody: should they buy this stuff and it goes to 0, right? Whose fault is that?
Your fault insurance. And no, the answer is no, you should not buy
Exactly.
any of this. You should
Okay.
buy Bitcoin and that's it.
Tone, should you buy some of this?
I wouldn't even know how to buy something like this.
Oh boy. Oh damn. 0.25. Let's go. 0.25. That's some more Bretta. Right?
You're talking to a person that has never even held a single ETH at any point in his life.
I know. And we're talking about Solana, not even Ethereum. All right. Well, I think we've had enough fun in the dgen section.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Let's just wrap it up for now. We could look at. I'd like tomorrow Monday. I'd like to take a look at our portfolio because we got a lot of shit in there.
That's gonna take like an 8-hour show.
It's going to make us very disappointed. It's sad. Yeah. That's about right.
And if you guys have any questions, right, for Tone or myself or even Mr. M, let's hear those questions and we'll do our best to answer them.
Let's see.
So, what did you think about the dgen section? Did you feel filthy?
Ah,
Did you need to go take a shower now?
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. It'll be funny when you review the whole portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is funny. It is funny.
We might have to sit down for that one.
Exactly.
I'm scanning the chat, guys, now, so if you have any questions, let us know. I mean, kind of discussed this already, but will this be a bear market?
What do you think?
Again, I still think we're in a bull market. I think we should be entering the middle phase of this bull market sometime in the next 3 months. So I do not see the current environment as a bear market. Even on the drop that was happening, I tweeted out at the end of last year, at the end of November, I think, that I was exiting my trading positions at $98,000 Bitcoin price. And I thought that was going to be the top. I was short-term wrong a little bit. We broke 100, went to like 108. But we continued to decline from there. We're still lower than that 98 exit. And my ultimate low for the short term, now the short term has now lasted into the 4th month, but my ultimate low was 73,000. And we almost reached that. We hit 78. I personally think we bottomed. So I do think that new all-time highs will happen before the end of the summer, maybe even before the beginning of the summer. So I don't think we're in a bear market. What would change my mind? A sub $70,000 price, which I'm not expecting.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right? I want you guys to know that I have a trade open. This is a trade here on WeEx, right? That's weex.davincij15.com. And I'm going to do a very limited, like low leverage trade here, where I'm just going to buy anything below the current price. I'm going to buy really low. Actually, the next buy order is a little bit lower than that. It's right down here. If prices were to go down there, I'm buying right with low leverage, and then I'm going to actually pump the leverage up, because I don't think the bear market. We're in a bear market. I'm willing to bet that this is going to do extremely well, but of course with limited leverage here, and so that once prices get into a specific area, I know for sure that, hey, this is going to be a breakout. So for example, we break out of, let me just go to the daily. You can see this is a downward trend line. We break out of that downward trend line. I'm going to move my leverage up. You got to get inside there.
Sorry. Yeah, sure.
I'm going to move my leverage up heavily so that we can actually, actually start adding more to the trade, and know that, then we won't back off too far down. Like, for example, I might add my leverage so that I never get liquidated unless we get below 70K, for example. I won't get liquidated at 70K. So that's how I'd move. That's how I trade this, right? If you want to trade this with a little bit of a risk, right? But not too much risk, right? You want to I believe you believe in the bull market. You believe that you could lose some money on these exchanges, because you can, right? Just so you know, right?
There's always exchange risk.
Exactly.
Everyone should be aware of that.
Exactly. So just so you know, and then of course the exchange, there's lots of things that could go wrong. The exchange could have a wick down, right, in their what's it called, their derivatives market, and it doesn't show up on the regular market. That can happen. So keep those things in mind, and make sure you use only money that you are okay. If it's all gone, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's like going to the casino, right? Like, you're not going to bring your life savings into a casino. And speaking of casinos, I heard UAE is getting some soon.
You're not.
Yeah.
And it's no different when it comes to trading.
Yeah.
Probably the same amount of money you would walk into a casino with. That's how much you should be using to trade.
Yeah.
So what price would you?
I like this question. Yeah. What would be the
Until I
price?
answer that, like, I would need a low below 70,000 for me to turn bearish, but I'm not expecting that to happen. It's interesting where you have your buy order. You have your buy order at 78,000 Da Vinci, and that's like the one area that I would not have my buy order, because that would make it a double bottom, and I personally never buy at double bottoms. So I would set my buy order either lower than 78, 75 to 73,000, or I would set it noticeably higher than 78. Remember that secondary low the following week came down to like 81, 82. And right now, I think that the low this morning was the next low. So I personally, at this point, if I didn't catch the low this morning at 84, I would wait and buy the breakout when it goes back above 90 this weekend or next week.
All right. Well, cool. I might move my buy order higher, or move it significantly lower. I'll just reevaluate that and see if that makes any sense for me.
But everyone has their own trading strategy. And another thing I always advise people, never trade somebody else's strategy. The best thing you can do as a trader is learn the craft and then make your own strategy that only you trust, because trying to follow another trader always leads to disasters.
Yeah, but I'm just giving my choice. My
you have your
choice
own strategy,
a second look.
And everyone else should learn and then have their own strategy that they trust in.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Okay.
Nice. I like this. I would say, if you have nothing nice to say nothing. So I'll,
Say ETH.
Say something about Ethereum.
Ethereum is becoming too irrelevant to say anything about it, so that's why no one talks about it these days.
Wow, you went there.
Where's the mic to drop? Do you have a mic to drop? Oh, DAI over USDT. Can you elaborate, please? We can talk about it.
Well, I mean, DAI, they don't freeze the funds at DAI, because it's an algorithmic stablecoin. So there's no way, unless they actually programmed in, like, for example, the ability to freeze, which they could have done. I don't know if they did, but they could. The Maker, people behind Maker, but that wouldn't make any sense, actually.
So I'll make 2 points on that. So having an algorithmic stablecoin comes with its own separate risks, like what happened with the Luna token.
Yes.
So having an algorithmic stablecoin is a risk of a hack of the stability of that platform by a hacker. So that is a risk you need to consider if you're going to hold DAI. The other aspect of it is correct. DAI doesn't at the moment have any programmability to freeze the funds. But the main reason for that is because DAI isn't really big enough or a problem for any major government like the US government to have that feature. If DAI ever starts to actually compete with something like Tether or USDC, I guarantee you it will have the programmability of freezing and seizing your funds. Whether they tell you about it in the code or not, they can always hide it in there as well. So
they'd have to issue new tokens though.
You'd be surprised. No one's really paying attention to those codes. So while it stays small and irrelevant, it's okay. But the moment it actually becomes relevant, the game changes.
There is also, if I'm not mistaken, a portion of DAI is in USDT, in USDC.
Well, right, but they'd have to back the token somehow. Like algorithmic stablecoins, again, come with their own huge risks. The reason why people trust Tether and Tether is $1 is because Tether is actually holding like $100 billion worth of dollars. They may not be, dollars in someone's basement. They may not be dollars in an account. They're mostly bonds, U.S. government bonds, which is considered a risk-free asset. But the U.S. federal
$1.
Right, the federal government could go and confiscate all that money from Tether. I don't know why they would, because now that China is not buying any US government bonds and actually selling some, and Russia's not buying, and most countries aren't buying, Tether is actually creating stability for the US government by being the buyer of last resort of US government bonds. So the US government ain't exactly in a rush to take down Tether because they're helping the US government. But DAI, there's no, like algorithmic stablecoin, then there's no backing it, right? So again, to me, these are still centralized things, but as long as they're staying small, there is less risk.
Yep, true. All right, guys. Well, that was an awesome show. I appreciate all your questions. It's now 11 o'clock. How many likes did we get?
A lot of viewers, like 5 million viewers. 5,000 viewers, sorry. I got my numbers wrong. So can you have altcoins?
Yeah. But that's including all the other channels. Like we're broadcasting on X, we're broadcasting on, what's it called?
Rumble
and YouTube. So
all across, yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys. And we're going to be doing this on Monday and also at the Financial Summit.
Exactly.
I'm going to be setting this up for at the Financial Summit. So maybe you can come on the show again.
Yeah, of course.
All right, awesome. So, see you guys next week, Monday. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.